Hey YouTube, Alyssa Forever here. So I know it's been quite some time since I've actually uploaded anything that has to do with natural hair, any tutorials or anything like that. So today I want to show you guys how I get my hair to look like this using Flexirods. Now for filming purposes, instead of using my actual natural hair, I wanted to use my curly wig that I got from Wild African. The link for this exact wig will be below. So the reason I decided to use a wig instead of my natural hair is because one, it's just easy to get those angles and it's so much easier to film that way. And two, since I'm going to be using heat, I didn't want to add any more damage to my hair because I literally just straightened my hair and there's a little bit of heat damage. So in order to do this style, I just didn't want to mess up my own natural hair. So that's why I just love wigs that are pretty similar to my natural pattern. That way I can do all these styles and not have to worry about damaging my actual hair and having to start all over again. Also, throughout the video, you'll get to see me wearing my Frizz Happens t-shirts, which is a shirt that I created and will be having for sale in the near future, probably just a few more weeks from now. Once I get everything up and running and established, I will put the link below, and I'll also make sure to do like an updated video giving you guys more information about the sale of these tees. So the best part about these shirts is that if your Flexirods don't come out the way you wanted, you can just throw on your Frizz Happen shirt and you can go about your day without feeling all weird about your hair being all frizzy and not the way you wanted it to be. This shirt right here gives your frizz a purpose. Anyway, so I don't want this to be a 20-hour long video, so I'm just gonna get right into it. So this is one of my favorite products to use when detangling my hair. I got it from my mom's job, which is Great Clips. They sell it there, so that's where I always get it. And I don't spray too much on, just spray enough to coat the strands and detangle. If you feel like the hair is just a little too dry, don't be afraid to spray some water on it just to make detangling a little bit easier. Now I'm going to use this leave-in from Giovanni just to keep my hair moisturized while it's in this style. Just using my Denman brush to make sure that all the knots are out, it's tangle free, and it's really smooth. After I detangle each section, I just like to put them in twists, that way the hairs stay out of my way and they stay tangle free. Can we just take a moment to appreciate these curls? This wig has really beautiful curls. Yes. I always find that it's easier to get through the hair when it's wet, so I'm just going to take a little bit more water. I'm going to take a little bit of my Style Prep Smoother from Aveda. This is just going to help my hair win the fight against humidity to make this style last a little bit longer. Once I get that all smooth through, I'm just going to take my Glossing Straightener by Aveda as well and put that through. This is just going to defend against heat damage and stuff like that. Now I'm going to take a paddle brush just to make sure that all the hair is smooth, all the products are smooth through, and I'm going to use this to blow dry and make sure that everything comes out straight, smooth, and sleek. It's really important that you try not to put direct heat on your ends, but you also want to make sure that you focus on them more to make sure that they're straight and sleek, because sometimes when you have puffy ends, it can ruin the whole style. So for one section, this is about how much hair I'm going to grab. It's not a big section, it's not a really small section, and I'm going to take some of my ORS Silkening Serum. It has a little bit of silicones in it, so it's going to help this style stay longer. I'm just going to use a really fine tooth comb to make sure there's no tangles, no knots, and everything's running smoothly. And of course I'm going to use my favorite ORS pudding, and I'm not going to use a lot. I'm going to use just enough to coat all the hairs. Right here I didn't get enough, so I'm going to grab just a little bit more. I don't want to grab too much so that my curls revert back, but I want to grab enough so that the style will hold. It's important to make sure that the hair is really smooth and there's no tangles, so I'm going to comb through. And I'm going to be using the small red Flexirods, and I start by just putting it underneath and wrapping the hair around the Flexirod. Folding this top part of the Flexirod will keep it in place. I always like to put a little bit more product on the ends and make sure that they're smooth before I finish wrapping them. And to keep it in place at the end, I just fold it right where the end is, and it usually stays no matter how thin the hairs are. I'm just going to repeat the same exact steps all the way around my head, just kind of eyeballing the size of each section, making sure that they're all kind of the same size. I like to start them off in the front just because sometimes sections can get a little uneven, and by the time you get all the way to the top, it might be all jacked up for your front. And I really want my front to look its best, so I want to make sure that I can have control of the size of each section. I ended up using about 13 or 14 Flexirods. You can decide how big you want the sections, but let me tell you, the sections expand once you take the Flexirods off, so I really advise using smaller Flexirods because the results turn out much bigger. So just to ensure lasting results, I'm going to have the hair sit under a hooded dryer for a good 25 minutes or so. 25 minutes is just a time I kind of made up, so you can sit under there longer. You don't have to sit under there that long, whatever you want to do. But I will be leaving these in overnight. So good night. Good morning, sunshine. I left the Flexirods in overnight, and so now it's time to take them down. For the takedown, I'm just going to unbend the two ends and then just kind of reverse wrap it the way that it was. I don't know how to explain it, but you see what I'm doing. Just kind of wrapping it around that way to get them off and make sure that I don't rip my hair or mess up the little pattern. The birds are chirping. The birds are chirping. Good morning to you. The birds.
I love you.
Oh, you pull.
Right there, hair like that. You should leave it.
Like big dreads.
Yeah.
Good morning to you. The dreads are swinging. That was a good one. Huh?
Wake up like I gotta get it. And I got an engine for a trunk space. I get money 3 ways, fucking bitches 3 ways. 7 different formats, plus she's no oblate. But I make that bitch walk for some cheesecake. Yeah, I'm the coldest nigga I see. Looking in the mirror like I wish I can be me. She too into me, I'm more into money. My hobbies, her body, that pussy's my lobby. I'ma eat it, I'ma eat it. I don't lie, on my dick too seated. Told her she my wife for the weekend. But don't be acting like I need you, cause we poppin' like, yeah. All my bitches got real hair, chillin' with the top down, screaming like, hey, yo. I'ma take her ass down, she bring her friend around, but I'm both like, hey, yo.
You wanna help me?
What?
Destroy this shirt?
Yes.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. It's not working. Victory is mine. Why did we do that?
Your hair looks radiant.
Thank you, baby. I think. Is their house catching on fire? Oh my gosh, you guys. If I look like a hot mess right now, it's because literally while I was filming this, I started to smell smoke. And I also heard what sounded like a really faint fire alarm, like you guys might be able to hear it while I was doing it. I don't know. It was just so quiet that I felt like I was tripping out. I was like walking out into the living room to see if I could still hear it, and I couldn't. It was only in my room. Is their house catching on fire? When I hear that fire alarm and I smell a little bit of the smoke, I'm just assuming it's like maybe I have a flat iron on. I don't know. I just think nothing of it, and I start just kind of thinking about like, what if there was a fire right now? So I walk out in the living room and I go tell Nate, I'm like, okay, so this is the plan. If there's ever a fire or something, you're gonna go outside and I'm just gonna open my window and I'm just gonna start throwing all of our valuables out the window for you to take away from the house. And we were just kind of laughing about it. And then I finally came back into my room and realized that it was kind of cloudy in here. It was like there is some type of smoke going on. So I started unplugging all my lighting and everything I got going on just to make sure that it isn't like electricity fire or something. And then I realized it has to be a fire next door. So I'm like, Nate, get in here. I was like, what did I say? What did I say, babe?
Fire, fire, help!
I did not say fire, fire, help. I said, babe, I really think it's a fire. Come in here. And he was like, I don't even know what he said. He didn't even say anything. He was just like,
I didn't believe you.
nah. I'm like, babe, seriously, I think there's a real fire. Come in here. And he's like, babe, still he wasn't coming. I was like, babe, I'm f***ing serious.
No.
Yeah. And then he finally came in here. He was like, no, babe, you're just tripping. No, there's nothing. You're tripping. I'm like, no, I smell smoke. What you got to argue about?
You right.
And then I was like, or he was like, I'm gonna go outside. So we went outside and he didn't see nothing or smell anything. We went around back by the neighbor's windows and I could smell some more smoke. And he was just like, I think you're tripping. And then I was like,
no, that was around the time when I started to take you serious.
Oh, then
when I went outside.
Then he started taking me a little bit serious, and I was like, I'm calling the dang 911. So I called 911, and they told me to make sure everybody's out of the house. So I told Nate to go knock on their door, because this is the wall right here that is shared by me and my neighbors. So he went around, and he knocked on their door, and by the time I got around there too, he was like, they're not opening the door, and I see little kids, and there's little kids like peeking out the window like, hey, hi. So I was like, come out here, come on. I thought that they probably were scared of me because I'm like, so they finally, like, we were knocking on their side door, they finally came around to the front door. The little kids came out and I saw all this smoke and I could hear the fire alarm so loud. And so I was like, is there anybody else in there? And they said yes. The dad. They were like little kids, kids were really young, like 3 and 4. And I was like, is there anybody else in there? And they said yes, they're sleeping. So when the fire department finally came, they went in there and woke up the dad, and there was another kid in there. So, and from what I know from being the neighbor, I know that he's a really deep sleeper, because if you seen what video was it? It was the Shop Miss A haul. You can hear somebody going, Mike, 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 Mike.
Mike. Michael.
Yeah, that's him. They're trying to wake him up for some other reason, not a fire. But that just goes to show how deep of a sleeper he was. So good thing, and thank God. Just a bunch of chaos in the neighborhood today, I guess. But thank goodness that we were home. And actually, thank goodness I was home, because Nate was pretty much useless. Or else they would be like, I don't even know what would happen. That fire could have just really spread and did some damage to them, their house, and possibly our house as well. So just thank goodness for me, since I'm just superwoman up in here. Let's get back into this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that satisfied your thirst for more natural hair videos. Also, don't forget to keep yourself updated on the Frizz Happen teas by just staying updated on my YouTube channel and following me on Instagram at Forever Flawless. Anybody that follows me on Instagram will be the first to know when they can cop themselves a Frizz Happens tea. But yeah, so I love you guys, and I'll see you at my next upload. Bye!